kit that I purchased also came with a couple of these rubber boots for the brake caliper, where the bolts, those hex head bolts, the ones you use the Allen bolts, the ones that you use the Allen wrenches or the Allen sockets to get out, they actually go in there. So I'm going to show you how to take one out. It's not real difficult, but this is one of them right here. So I'm just going to kind of tuck this stuff down in the hole and push back. Let me make sure I show it to you. And just keep your fingers and stuff out of the way, obviously, because you'll stab yourself with a screwdriver. So I'm holding the back while I'm trying to pull this out, and just keep tucking this stuff through. And it has to go out that way. So there you go, it came out. So I'm going to put a new one in, and I'm just going to take some of this caliper part lubricant, put it on there. It'll help keep this thing from deteriorating, for one, and help it go back inside too. So, and then it'll just go in the opposite way that it came out. And just push it in. So that's all there is to it there. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is push this caliper back, or the caliper piston, caliper piston back. I'm just going to take one of the old brake pads, stick it against the piston there. And I have this tool that I use. I think I got this thing from AutoZone or Advanced Auto or something like that. Out of convenience, basically. You can use a C-clamp, channel locks, but this makes it really easy. So all I'm going to do is compress this piston back. And do it about halfway. I'm going to let it rest here for a second and just go check to make sure we're not overflowing from the brake reservoir. Yeah, so we should be good. I'm going to compress this one all the way. I compressed the driver's side all the way, so with the amount of fluid that I removed earlier, we have plenty of room left in the reservoir where we're not going to overflow. Alright. So, completely compressed now. Now for the other side, I put the rear brake pad in first. This is the orientation that we're going to be in. So once again, I don't know if we've done these before, brakes, but you want to make sure this tab goes inside evenly. You see that being a little bit of an issue. That fits a little tight. So now that that's in, I'm going to grab the rotor. Actually, it's right here. And one more thing I recommend you doing also, is putting anti-seize on this hub here. Let me grab this wire brush real fast. So I would just see if you can see this. Yeah, clean this off really good. Knock a lot of that rust off. This is what makes it hard to get the rotors off. The rust kind of seizes up, sticks to the rotor and the hub. It kind of welds it together, just like a rust weld. And I'm satisfied with that. Good enough. And just take a little bit of anti-seize and rub on there, so you don't have to worry about that. Next time you go to do this, it'll make it a little bit easier, or ensure that it's not difficult. Just make sure you keep it out of the bolt holes. I'm all about making things easier for next time you have to do something. Your brakes are a fairly common part to replace, so I want to make sure it's easier next time. Alright. The rotors are going to go on. And these are labeled, so just remove the label for the passenger front side. Rotor up, set it in place. Let's see here. So I got the retainer bolt, retainer hole right there. We should be real close here. We got it nice. Started really good by hand. And we'll tighten it up the rest of the way. I'm not sure if there's any torque spec on these. I'm sure there is, but I don't really mess with it when it's something like routine maintenance like this. So just make sure it's just snug. You don't want to over tighten them either. Alright, should be good there. Next, we're going to put the mounting bracket, the caliper back in place. Like this right here. There we go. Back to the 18mm, tighten these up. I always find it easier to use some extensions when working behind the wheel like this. Snug on that one. Okay, check the top one. Alright, we're good to go. Now it's time to put the brake rotor, the caliper back in place. Got the brake pad in. Got my bolts ready to get put back in. And be careful to try to not get any type of lubricant or any other type of contaminant on your brake pad itself. So what I did on the other one is I put this in place with both brake pads setting where they needed to be. and after having them fully compressed, it worked out really good. One thing different on this one, so I had a sensor essentially that you would put right in here, clip on through there on the driver's side, and it goes back and hooks into this box up here. That's for your indicator. So if you have on your dash cluster, if it's telling you that your brakes are wore out, if you got the brake light on saying it's worn through the minimum thickness, that's what happened. It picked it up from the sensor that goes right in here on the other side, on the driver's side, and that sensor will also need to be replaced. I kind of figured for some reason that there were going to be one on each side, but there's not. So I didn't replace the other one because it didn't break. I just replaced these rotors simply because they were brakes and rotors, because they were making too much noise. So I'm just tired of hearing the noise. So if you have that light indicator on your dash, and that's the issue that you're going to have to fix. Alright, putting these bolts back in. So make sure you tighten these by hand first. Start them by hand. You don't want to cross thread anything. On the driver's side, I actually had a messy lug to put back in, and I just left it out for now. I'm gonna get a new one. I don't even want to chance it. Alright, so that one started. This one started really good as well. Yeah. Alright. Go ahead and tighten them up now. Actually, before I tighten them up too much, I do want to put this this back on. Let me see if I can move the camera. See a little bit better what I have going. So this is the retainer for that front rotor, correction, front brake pad. So the idea is for these two prongs to rest against here, and for you to get these in the holes. So you want to get these back into those holes. So I did one first, and that worked out really good on the last one. So I just put one of these into place, and then I pried it back where I need it to be. So that's in there really good. Yeah, so everything's in good right there. And now I'll just finish tightening these bolts in place. This other one. Nice and snug. Same thing for this one. Everything's good to go there. Now I want to put our caps back on. I did get, like I said, I got new caps and boots, so I just replaced them since I had them. And essentially that's it. So the only thing I'm going to do here now is put the tire back on to finish, and then I would refill my brake reservoir with the remaining brake fluid that I had, fill it up, and then lower it down, pump the brakes, and then kind of take it for a test drive and make sure everything was good.